It's an amazing experience that you don't want to pass up if you can help it. If you can go, go, because it really has changed me.
I thought that South Africa would have changed me. It's definitely something you want to step out and take the chance to do, because it'll be definitely worth your while and worth the experience. And again, you'll never be the same.
It was actually fun, so it didn't seem educational. It wasn't a classroom, so there's a lot more education that happened just in our free time. It put it in a more fun way than a classroom, so it didn't really seem as educational as it was. But I learned more on that trip than I would ever learn in a classroom.
It's so beautiful, and the history, I just love seeing so much, tradition and people passionate about that, their culture and their history.
It opened my mind. The world is not as small as I thought it was. People across the world, I guess, have their own cultures, and being in a culture around the world and not have ever experienced in that was a culture shock. But it was a great experience, and it's opened my mind to new things, and it's been great.
I really wanted to be exposed to something other than what, like our culture. Wanting to see how people over there live and what their everyday is.
We studied Spanish, and what better way to learn Spanish than being in Spain. I learned more in 3 weeks than I did in 3 semesters.
Just walking around and seeing all these old buildings, and the aqueduct is like 2,000 years old, the Romans built it. That was probably the easiest part, just walking around, being with everyone in a group.
I think Ireland, probably the best part of it is just the way of life. I kind of went over there with an open mind. I wasn't expecting to go from point A to point B. I just wanted to enjoy while I was over there. Whatever may come, just kind of happen. It's easy to make friends, and they're real curious about who we are and what's going on. And the conversation both ways was very fluid.
Then we try to mix it up between that and like videos and music and actually going places and meeting people and seeing places and having that interaction. That's probably the best way to learn, really experience the culture. I learned a lot about other people and myself. Got to see things otherwise wouldn't see.
One of my favorite surprises was the interaction of the people in Cherbourg, how welcoming they were and helpful. And even though there was a language difference, they tried, to speak English, and we tried to speak French. So we met, in the middle. Paris, as soon as you enter the city, it's just open your mouth and go, wow.
It's like a 24-hour classroom. Even when you're not in class and you're out shopping or buying food, they're not speaking English. It gave me a bigger perspective of the world, actually going somewhere outside of the United States where hardly anyone speaks English.
When we got to Athens, I was floored by the fact that in the city part of it, there's no greenery. You can see the Acropolis from the hotel. And being in Tolo, it was such a perfect small place. I mean, there was nothing overwhelming about it. I mean, you felt comfortable.
People are pretty much the same everywhere you go around the world, and that's what's kind of surprising. Even though people spoke a different language and had a different type of culture, a totally different type of culture, some of the same things that were important in the United States were important there.
And they were so hospitable towards us, and I mean, they were just as curious about our culture, and I got to connect with these people, these new friends that we made.
You are going to change. Something about you is going to change, and because you grow as a person, because you have to change in order to really understand what's going on. You have to be able to accept certain things, accept that people are different, and accept that the world is different than what you might think it is. It's a big world, and you've got to go see it.